Good day, ladies and gentlemen. With this video, we are going to be wrapping up the series with the intro to trading binary options. This video is going to cover how to actually open up your account with a broker. I'm going to get pretty in-depth with this one because basically the theme of this whole thing is create a paper trail, just in case. I did a video similar to this about a year ago, and I was pretty harsh on the brokers. In that time, I've helped out a lot of traders with disputes with brokers. And I would honestly say it's about 50-50 with being a misunderstanding and being a shady broker. A lot of times new traders just don't understand the process that has to be that you have to go through to either one, get your money out of the account, or two, they accepted a bonus and they weren't aware of the, I guess you could say, ramifications of accepting a bonus. So we're going to try and cover all that so you don't get any surprises when it comes time to withdraw your money. Okay, so this one again, the warning. Currency trading offers amazing profit potential, also large risk potential. Before you get started, make sure you consider your investment goals. Don't spend money you shouldn't. Car payment, house payment, rent, whatever you want to call it. Recommend you invest only funds you can afford to lose. Only discretionary money should be used for currency trading. Make yourself aware of all possible risks associated with trading currencies. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can contact an independent financial advisor. Any live trading you do, you are doing at your own discretion and risk. Okay, so what we are going to do is, again, cover how to open an account and deal with a binary options broker. So I'm going to get to this later, but before we even get into it, the preferred method of deposit is going to be by credit card or a prepaid credit card. I'm going to cover in depth on that, why that is what you want to deposit with. If that's not an option for you, it does take away some things that I'm going to be covering at the end. So the first thing you want to do, whether you're using a new broker, if you're using one that was recommended through the site, is go ahead and pick your broker, open the account, but do not deposit. Normally 99% of brokers are going to let you sign up, register, and get your account up to the point where you go to a deposit screen. At that point, I would go ahead and stop and wait. You will most likely receive a phone call within an hour or two, and if not, you can then contact them by email or otherwise. But 99% of the time, other than the only broker I know that does not contact you and that I could say you could ignore all this crap for, is Markets World. They do not contact you no matter what, which is kind of nice, but you don't get to go through this process, and they are limited on things like assets, and their trading system's a little bit different, as in how expiries work. Okay, so you're going to pick your broker, open the account, but do not deposit. Wait, you're going to get that phone call. Okay, so the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to call you with their sales pitch. They're going to make you try and feel like the most important person in the world, that you're their sole concern in the world. Basically what they're doing, and who you're talking to is a telemarketer. Right? Let me make this very clear. They are not a broker, even though they're going to call themselves a senior broker or whatever. They're not brokers. They're just telemarketers. They're people just like you and me trying to make a buck. I'm not going to get into anything more than that on my opinions, but they're telemarketers. The biggest thing they normally will try to do is get you to accept a bonus. For instance, if you deposit $100 and they have a 20 times turnover rate, you would not be able to withdraw those funds you deposited until you did, say, 20K in trades, which for most people is not going to happen, especially for a new trader, as your growth is going to be a lot slower than that. So the first thing you want to do is never, never, ever accept a bonus. There is one condition we will, and I'm going to cover that in a minute. But as a new trader, you never want to. Keep in mind the entire time you're talking to this person that they are a telemarketer. All they're trying to do is get the maximum amount of funds out of you they can. Before you even begin the process of opening up the account, you should already have the amount of money you want to deposit set aside so that they can't talk you into more. If they do, you say, well, this is all I have, I'm sorry. They're going to give you excuses like, well, there's gold level, silver level, blah, blah, blah. Every one of those levels normally involves some type of bonus structure or free trades. If it's a free trade, like it's a no-risk trade, you can trade $100, and if you lose, you don't lose that money. The first time you take that deal and lose it, that locks you into some type of bonus structure, and then again, your funds are locked down. All you want is a straight account. You deposited $250, you have $250 to use. That is it. Nothing fancy. The one exception is it a segregated bonus? Now, what that means is you deposit $300, they give you a $300 bonus, but you don't see that money until your bonus stipulation is met. So let's say they have, again, it's a $100 deposit and there's a 10 times turnover rate. You're going to deposit $100. 2 weeks later, you will be able to withdraw that money. You won't see the bonus unless you've done $1,000 worth of trading. So what happened is a $100 bonus for a $100 deposit. You'll have $100 up to the point where you've traded $1,000 worth of money. So you've hit it. Now all of a sudden, $100 will pop into your account. If you don't hit it or you withdraw funds before then, you never see the bonus, but you're able to withdraw your money at any time. You're not locked into the account. So you can ask them, is the bonus segregated or is it just an immediate bonus? If it's an immediate bonus, 100% of the time I'll say your account is now locked down and you do not want that. You only want a segregated bonus, and there's only a few brokers I know that offer that. Okay, so now that you have the gentleman on the phone, you've discussed everything, the first thing I normally do, and I highly recommend this because it's the first step of your paper trail, is you tell the gentleman on the phone, say, yes, I'm going to deposit, but the first thing I would like from you is an email saying that there will be no bonus on the account, and that I'm telling him the amount you're going to deposit so he can include that on the email, and that you're free to withdraw your money at any time. And if there's any other terms you've discussed, some people, if you're doing a very, very large investment, I've seen people deposit $25,000, they will give you a cash bonus with no strings attached. But of course, you want to see that in the email. Anything you discuss on the phone call needs to be in the email. The reason we want this is, one, you now have a direct contact with your broker, a way to contact him directly, which is through email. Two, ask him if he has Skype available, and if he does, add him on Skype and send him a quick message. So now you have 2 lines of contact with him. That way, again, we're creating a paper trail for later on down the line. If you get any pushback on this, and while you're talking to the guy, don't be rude. I mean, try and stay civil. They're just doing their jobs that they're getting paid for. But stay civil with them. And if you do get pushback from him, he says, well, I can't email you, just simply let him know there are other binary options companies available. And if he can't meet your requests, there are several other companies that will. If you're doing a $250 deposit, they might be a little iffy on it. But $250 for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. So try not to back down on it, and normally say, look, it's my first time using you as a company. This will kind of calm them down a little bit, and say, yes, I may deposit more in the future, but I am just basically, you're giving them a test drive. Say, look, I'm giving you a test drive so I can see how I like you. I'm going to do 250 this time, and then next time I may do greater. If you do or do not plan to, don't worry about it. They're going to be telling you a little bit of some white lies. It doesn't hurt for you to give them a few as an incentive to get what you need out of them in case things go bad. So if you get pushback, just let them know in a nice way that, look, there are other binary option companies available that will work with you like this. All you're asking for is an email saying these are the terms of the account I'm opening, so that for your test drive you feel safe and secure, and that maybe in the future you are going to deposit more. And if he asks how much, I don't know, tell him whatever, 5,000. But tell him until you've done your test drive, nothing further will proceed. Okay, so once you get your email, review it, make sure all the terms are there as you discussed. If there isn't anything, this is your first chance to email him back and see if you get a response. If communication breaks down at any point of this process, that might be your first warning sign that, hey, I might not have the best broker here. Okay, so if you get your email, everything is fine, as you discussed, go ahead and deposit and do not trade. After you deposit, send in your verification documents and wait for and or request after 24 hours to know when you are verified and clear to withdraw. And in that email, if you have to contact them, it should say you're cleared to withdraw, and make sure that that's there, because again, you have not touched your money yet. You have not placed a trade with them. We're double and triple checking that they say yes, you can withdraw at any time. So even if you get the email saying, hey, you are now verified, shoot an email back to your broker and say, hey, I'm verified. Does this mean that if I need to, I can pull my funds out at any time? That's an additional step you can take. I'd recommend. Most of the time, though, you're going to be pretty clear by now, and the broker is going to know they're talking to someone who knows what they're doing, and they're not going to mess around with you too much. Okay, so After the initial call, I highly recommend, because the broker is going to call you and try and talk you into depositing more, but after the initial call, I definitely recommend limiting correspondence to chat through their website. They normally have live chat through Skype or email. If the broker asks, well, why can't I contact you? Lie to them. Say, hey, I'm trading from work and I can't take the calls. They'll fire me. So just let them know, I can't take the calls, but I'm more than happy to talk to you through live chat, through Skype, or I'll email you. On your end of it, again, we're just creating a paper trail. We want a paper trail. Okay, so what are some of the things you never want to do? You never want to give your credit card or bank information over the phone. You don't know if he's writing that down on a piece of paper or putting it into the computer like he's supposed to, but that's your number one rule. Never give any of your financial information over the phone. And some of these brokers will ask for it over the phone because they want to hurry up and lock you into a deposit. The next thing, you never want to let the broker, again, this isn't a broker, he's a telemarketer, never let him trade for you. If you hadn't watched the previous videos, when you are trading binary options, it is not like traditional trading. It is not you placing a buy and there's another trade out there placing a sell, so things even off, and you have the liquidity where it's you versus another trader. It is not like that at all. When you are trading binary options, it is you versus the broker. If they tell you something different than that, they are lying through their teeth. So what that means is if you lose, they make money. If you win, they lose money. That is as simple and plain, cut and dry as I can put it. Never let them trade for you because it is not in their interest. No matter how nice they are to you, no matter how much money they say they will make for you, it is not in their interest to make money for you. What I do see happening, and I have seen this a lot, is they do, I guess you could call it a bait and switch. The broker will say, yes, I'll trade for you. The person doesn't know any better. They trade for him. Well, they take a $500 account and they turn it into a $1,700 account. What they do then is they call you back and say, I can go ahead and continue trading for you if you give me another 5 or 10 grand. That's when things go south. All of a sudden, your account loses and you're dead broke. The broker made his money, the telemarketer made his money, and the binary options company made their money. So again, never let the broker trade for you. Now they might try and word it in another way. They're going to say we have an excellent signal provider. You can go over and look at his performance, blah, blah, blah. Again, don't do it. It's your money, trade your money. So no, we don't let the broker, telemarketer trade for us, and we don't let them assign us to a signal provider service. It is the same end result, that the binary options company is then in control of your money and you're no longer in control of it. The last thing that I'd recommend, and the next video series is going to cover this, but is never trade using the binary option company's charts. They always come with cutesy little line charts and they have little recommendations sometimes on it. 95% of traders currently say put, 5% say call. Never ever trade with the charts. I would recommend using MT4, freestockcharts.com. If you don't know what these are, look on binaryoptions.net. There's several good walkthroughs of how to use MT4. The next video series is going to go into helping you select how you want to trade, either price action or technical trading, or a combination of both. But never use the broker's charts. It's just, there's not enough information there for you to make a educated decision. So that pretty much covers everything you want to do. Now, time to withdraw funds. You made some money. Yay. Okay, so you never want to call them up. You don't want to call your broker up. You don't want to hit them through Skype. You want to go through the website and do the withdrawal process through their website. What you definitely want to do, and if you don't know how to do it, is print screen your. When you hit withdrawal, it's going to give you a confirmation on their screen saying, okay, the process has been started. Hit the print screen button on your computer. Go to Paint, the little program everyone has if you're using Windows. After you hit print screen, go to Paint and right-click and hit Paste. It will then save a screenshot of what you just did. Very, very important step there. Make sure you take a screenshot. I'm saying this because, and again, I don't want to get into bashing brokers, but there are some brokers out there that when you do a withdrawal, your account will vanish. And this is a shady broker when that happens. But you'll hit withdraw, bam, your account's gone, and when you call up, we don't know you have an account anymore. So this is why we need the paper trail. So in case anything happens, you have the paper trail to back it yourself up. Okay, so let's say you did your withdrawal, everything went good, you don't even, just ignore this portion. you go to do your withdrawal and you do all of a sudden realize, hey, I might have picked a broker that is less than reputable. Now, I'm going to keep this clean and civil. Basically, they are ignoring your withdrawal request, or your withdrawal request was processed but then declined and they're not giving you a reason why, or all of a sudden after everything you did, they say you have a bonus attached to it or you have a trade volume you need to meet. So this is why I said your preferred method of deposit is by credit card or prepaid card, because if your deal with your broker goes south, we now have what is a final step you can kind of take. So rewinding, if you decide to do the credit card or prepaid card route, the first thing you want to do once you have your credit card or prepaid card is contact them and ask them, if I ever needed to file a chargeback, what are my requirements to file one? What do they need to file that chargeback? And what is the time frame you have to initiate one? They might say you have 30 days from the time the charge was placed on your card, or 60 or 90. So we want to know those two things. Now, what is a chargeback? And again, I'm going to cover a little bit about this because I've seen people abuse this, and if you do, it's very stupid, because if you've looked at the previous video, spot option, tech financials, those are two big groups that hold binary option companies together. They're their backbone. If you abuse a chargeback, you will get blacklisted immediately between those two companies. That'll probably kick out about 95% of the binary option companies that are available for you to trade through, because you'll get blacklisted. And even though spot option and tech financials are two different companies, that type of information is shared because they don't want someone that goes in and does chargebacks all the time as a customer. Okay, so what is a chargeback? It is a demand by a credit card provider for a retailer to make good the loss on a fraudulent or disputed transaction. So the key words here is when your binary options company has gone fraudulent or disputed and you know you're in the right because you created the paper trail, then you can initiate a chargeback. So again, this isn't something to be abused, and these companies do take it very seriously if you do abuse it, and they will blacklist you. But it is your last resort, so if things go south, it's your last resort to get your deposit back. There will be no profits back, and if you blew your account, don't attempt this. That's just stupid. You're going to lose and you're going to get blacklisted. So again, this is a last resort for a binary options broker that has just basically gone back on their word, lied to you straight up. They've been fraudulent, or it's in dispute because they all of a sudden changed the terms of your account. Okay, the one thing you do want to remember is if it's a company and you have any concern at all, or even if you don't, this is a good first test for them. Initiate your withdrawal well before your chargeback time limit comes close. What that means is if you have 90 days to do a chargeback, if you've been trading with them for 60 days, I'd go ahead and initiate my withdrawal. If everything goes great, woohoo, you don't have to worry about everything. But within 48 hours, most companies, within 48 hours, if you don't, well, within 24, you should have a confirmation that your withdrawal is being processed. And then within, the longest I'd give it is a week. But after 48 hours, I'd ask them, is my withdrawal coming? If you get any type of pushback, excuse, or anything, I would give them maybe a week at the most, and then I would go ahead and initiate a chargeback. Before you do it, call them up and say, look, it's been 1 week. I need an actual answer. When's the money going to be there? So now you're down to 3 weeks in your chargeback window. If they tell you 3 days, say good. In 3 days, if it's not there, then you call them up and say, I'm going to go ahead and initiate a chargeback. Say, you know how I set this up. You emailed me. I have all my documentation, your paper trail, and you offer them up to them. If they say, no, we're going to fix it, tell them, say, look, I'm going to give you one last chance to fix it. If they don't, now that you have all the paperwork, paper trail you have, you can come to binaryoptions.net and you can post up copies of it, black out, whatever, blur your pertinent information, and post it all up there. When these binary options companies see proof, because if you just come up and, like I'd mentioned in the beginning, the first time I did this video, I was harsh on the brokers, but a lot of times it was misunderstandings, or the trader that I was talking to really did not have a clue. When you have all the proof that the binary options company's in the wrong and is abusing you, once you put that up on a forum, a lot of the times you will see them do a 360 on their decision, and you'll get your withdrawal plus your profits almost immediately. But they will ask you to take down that post. Now, if you post it up there and you can no longer edit it, ask me or just get in contact with me or post it up on your forum. Can you go ahead and remove this post? It's been resolved. So be prepared if they're playing hardball with you to play hardball back. Let them know, say, I'm prepared to post everything up. I did create a paper trail. I will post up all our conversations and everything to the internet. You can tell them multiple forums. I mean, there's binaryoptions.net. Forex Peace Army is a huge one when it comes to dealing with brokers that don't want to process withdrawals. But make sure initiate the withdrawal well before your chargeback time limit. So if, I guess you could say, kind of threatening them doesn't work, then you can go ahead to your bank or your credit card company and say, I want to initiate a chargeback. And again, you still have your paper trail. You can provide them with all the documentation to say, I want to do a chargeback. And hopefully you shouldn't have any issues with it. So basically, to sum it up, you want to, after they call you, you want to get an email with your account terms. You want to deposit, send in your verification information. Once you've been verified, you should get an automated email back saying you are verified. Then make sure you confirm you are clear to withdraw, no strings attached on the account. And then, again, withdraw before your chargeback window closes. Leave plenty of time to deal with the company. If things go south, leave plenty of time so that you can deal with the company. We don't want to get into a last-minute argument where you're pressed for time and you might actually have a chance of getting your money back plus your profits, where you had to, I got 3 days left, I need to initiate the chargeback. We want to have time to work with it. If it is a broker that you signed up through binaryoptions.net, I mean, please, by all means, get in touch with us. Even if it's not, get in touch with us. We can help you with the process. But get in touch with us if it is one that we recommended off the site, because we definitely have a little bit more pull with them then on getting the situation cleared up for you, or finding out what exactly the problem is, and if it is a misunderstanding, get it straightened up for you. And again, guys, like I said, gals too, I would say it's about 50%, maybe sometimes 60%, and I know this sounds bad. It's not always the broker. Sometimes it is, yes. Sometimes, though, it is just a new trader and they didn't understand, well, I needed to send in this information and I didn't send in the correct information, and they ignored that. They thought, okay, I sent that in, I'm good to go. That's why you always want to confirm you're clear to withdraw before you start trading. So that, guys, hopefully that will walk you through everything you need to know before you actually start to place a trade. Just a few additional items and where we're going to go from here. I would highly recommend getting a demo account before you do go to live trading. Just to review the entire series, you want to shoot for 60 to 65% ITM before you go. Make sure you're being consistent with your money management, even on your demo, so you can get the feel for how your account is going to grow. The next series I'm going to do is going to discuss price action trading versus technical trading. It'll give you an idea of maybe how you want to trade. To sum it up real quick, price action deals more with, I guess you could say, patterns, candlestick movements, things like that. So if you're big into patterns and movement, things like that, price action might be a way for you to go. Technical trading deals more with indicators, numbers, levels, things like that. It's a little more rigid. No matter what you choose, most people I see who are price action traders still have one or two technical indicators on their charts, and even a lot of, and I'm a technical trader, so I can definitely say this. As a technical trader, the first thing I found out that price action was invaluable. I'm not an expert at price action, but I know enough to keep myself out of trouble. So in the next series, we're going to have an introduction to technical trading, and we're going to have an introduction to price action. I'll definitely be doing the technical trading side of it. I'm even going to post up one of the systems that I use for y'all to try out. So stay tuned and watch for those to come out. I'm going to do an intro first, though, to both of them. I'm going to get a little more in-depth on what is price action trading and what is technical trading. So I hope you guys learned something from this and you're ready to take the next step into getting an account going, demo, and start using those consistency and money management plans we talked about and developing your trading skills. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the series, and come to live chat. I didn't even mention that. We do have live chat. If you go to the website on binaryoptions.net, up at the top there's a live chat button. I'm in there from 8 a.m. to 2 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time every day. I'm in there a little bit earlier each day, but to be safe, I have to take my daughter to school, so I'm in there every day. We do have live trading going, screen sharing going, so you can see what's on my charts. Lots of bots is in there. He also shares his charts a lot. It's a great way to learn and also to ask questions and get instant feedback. So if you have questions, head on over there and hit us up. other than that, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you in the chat room if you stop by.